Well, hey everybody, how you doing? Hopefully everyone's doing good. I'm gonna try to monitor the chat. So if you have questions or if you want to pop in and ask questions, let me know. Kim Wolff is also on the line, so that's good.
Hi.
I do want to say that this is still beta, and we're working on it. And I'm going to share some things that's coming down the pike here pretty soon that it's going to make this tool even better. It's going to be pretty slick. So a couple things. Can everybody see my screen? It should say Libraries on Demand. Yes, good. Okay. And everybody can hear me well, obviously, so that's good. So we have this new tool, EBSCO. Let me see if I have this. Yeah, Curriculum Builder is what they call it, and it's powered by EBSCO. And I'm going to talk a little bit about what our discovery tool is now in a minute, and what we're going to hopefully go to, and then where we're gonna be in 2017. But Curriculum Builder, just a quick little deal. About 3 years ago, I was in Washington, D.C. at a library conference, and I was super bored, wasn't learning anything new. And I was like, it was Wednesday, it was the last thing. So I went to this last presentation, and it was this sole guy by himself talking about LTI. And I'm going, LTI? I didn't really know what that was. But anyway, he was showing, and I'm sure you all know what LTI is, which is good. I don't need to go into that. And he was showing this tool that he just wrote, and I was blown away. And this was 3 years ago. So I went up to the programmer and I said, "Hey, this is totally worth the price of admission. Thank you." And so then I just started thinking LTI. I'm like, this is it. I love this. So fast forward almost 4 years later, and his tool that he built is now branded by EBSCO, which is a huge company, and they branded it Curriculum Builder. So it's an easy way to seamlessly bring library licensed as well as open access content directly into your online courses. What's interesting is I talked with EBSCO. We've got this digital asset manager now. I wish we didn't do that, because now we can actually throw it all into this discovery system and then find it and add it to my courses very easily in Curriculum Builder. It's not going to happen today, but it's something we could easily do down the road. So maybe we can revisit that down the road, but I just wanted to put that out there. So we're not going to have to worry about all these persistent URLs that always break. Proxy settings we're not going to have to really worry about. And all these other weird technical issues that happen. So really it's just this research portal you add to reading list, and hopefully your students are going to spend more time reading. So that's the key. So real quick, and we'll actually get in and do this together so we can see how it works. And again, it is beta, so if you find anything that you want to add, let me know. They're very receptive. EBSCO is very receptive to our enhancement requests. And that's super awesome, because we can make this tool great. One more thing about this tool is the state, FALSI, which is the old FLVC, is now FALSI, which I think is Florida Academic Library Services Cooperative. Anyway,
Yes.
they purchased Curriculum Builder for the state, but it will not be released to the state until after July 2017. So probably, but anyway, we've got it, and we're an early adopter, and hopefully we'll have it working beautifully by that time when the state goes with this whole system. So it's a good thing. We're actually ahead of the curve by a couple years. So anyway, so how does this thing work? So you basically go in to My Courses, you add a module or whatever it is you want to add, and then you go into that file, into that page, and then you add existing activities, you add an external learning tool, and we decided to call it Library on Demand. So then you add that to your course. So then once it's there as Library on Demand, you can edit the properties in place, change the title to something more meaningful to that student. Music and autism, for example. By the way, since we're doing it this way, it's an external learning tool. EBSCO is working on the insert stuff, the LTI plugin. You guys have all used the FMG on demand, the Films on Demand plugin in Desire to Learn. It's working pretty well. There's some glitches here and there, but for the most part, it works really well. Students do not have to authenticate again. The video is embedded right there. I've got quite a few enhancement requests in there too, but as of right now, it works pretty well. So eventually, Curriculum Builder, Library on Demand, whatever, will be an insert stuff, more of a plug-in type tool where you can add reading lists anywhere very easily. So that's exciting.
Chad,
Yes,
quick question.
sure.
So when you change the title, it changes to a discussion icon?
Oh no, that's I was doing a discussion board in this example.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It should be the little arrow.
Right. So you, okay, okay. I was
I
sorry.
think this was an old screenshot or something. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
Good
We
catch.
wanted to show that it could be part of a discussion board. It doesn't just have to remain a static reading list.
Yeah. But what stinks about it now is like eventually when you have that insert stuff thing, we won't have to worry about any of that. You can just insert it anywhere. Which
Right.
is
No.
nice. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, good catch. I'll have to fix that for the. So good. Thanks. So then you go into step 5. This will pop up after you change the title or whatever. You click on it, then this little search interface will pop up. You type in your search. It's real basic. You can keyword author title. Then you get a list of results. And I'll show you in a minute when we go live. You can actually see there's a lot of facets. But behind the scenes now, just so you know, this is what we're using now. This is Primo, which I can't wait till it's over. They don't do they're not working on anything new now. But if I do a search for music theory, this is our discovery platform now, right? So this is what it looks like. This is completely live. Now, what is running behind the scenes, powering Library on Demand, is this other discovery tool called EDS, EBSCO's Discovery Service. Now, so we've got really 2 systems running. We got let's see if I can find it now. We've got this one, which is what's live outside of Desire to Learn. And then, let's see if I can bring it back here. I got this thing blocking all my stuff. Hang on. All right. How do I get underneath there? Anyway, and then the other one.
Click the pin so it's unpinned so it moves up.
The pin. Oh, right here?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
Something new. And then here's the discovery tool powering curriculum builder. Okay. So what we've been thinking about is, well, this system, which is going to be live in July 2017 through the state, which is through Innovative Solutions. Kim and I saw their demo the other day, and we were blown away. They're a software company. They're not content. They're not providing tons of content. They don't fight with all these other content vendors, the content providers. I was completely blown away by what they are offering us for the state. But what stinks is we have to wait until 2017, unless I can get an early release on it to have it work. But it's nice because they're a software company. They've got mobile apps that actually work amazingly well. And their discovery platform is excellent. And they also have this services platform. So they've got everything built underneath the whole system. It's great. So pretty soon we're going to have this up and running. But in the meantime, we've got 2 systems, the one that's live outside of my courses and this one that is powering curriculum builder. So let's go back to this. So what I want to do now is actually go in and show you how this thing works. So let's come out. I'm going to go to course content. And you can see this is a sneak preview. If you guys want this, you can actually auto-register yourself. So if you go to your home, there should be you can register for this, and it's the sneak preview. So
Most of us have access to all any course we want.
Oh, that's right. Oh, and by the way, this is live in everywhere. Library on Demand. We're just not like really letting everybody know about it yet. But anyway, so I'm going to go in and I'm going to create. I'm going to call it delete because I want to delete it later. And then I'm going to add my existing activity, external learning tools, Library on Demand, edit properties, let's just call it delete, whatever you want to call it, right? So then let's go, whoops, sorry about that. Delete. So now here's my, oh, by the way, you can start fresh. Do not use an existing list. You can see there's a bunch of other lists in here. I'll talk more about that in a minute. But I'm going to hit continue without copying. And here's my search. So I'm going to do my music theory one that I always do. Again, you can do keyword, author, title. You hit search. So here's that EDS that this is powering it behind the scenes. So here we are. So now as we do our search, we can still go in. We can limit it just to full text. We can say we want scholarly work here. So you have all these different facets. Just so you know, the stuff over here on the left is being modified to look more like the outside system, to look more like this system. All right, so when I do music theory, I just got to, they have an API, and I got to make sure I sync both of these systems up. So as, for example, as you can see, we have a publication slider here, right? But we don't have the publication slider here, which is lame, whoops, publication year. So right now it's pretty lame, right? But that's changing. This is once these are both synced, the background, the system running it in the background will be this. So I hope I'm making sense there. So all these facets will be more slick very soon. But this is a way for people to go in and narrow things down a little bit, right? So now all you got to do is you can go through these and go, okay, you know, here's an academic journal. Let's add it to my reading list. Hey, here's an ebook. Oh, another thing about our new system coming, we can put in our ebooks, because as you know, ebooks are set up to where they're not unlimited. We still have, you know, you still have to have, you know, 4 simultaneous users or 5 or whatever it is. So with the new system, we can have it set up to say, hey, 3 out of 4 of our copies are checked out. You can book it later if you want. If you want it for next Friday, you can do that, and you'll have that ebook. Or we can add unlimited licenses if it's a book that you really want everybody to have access to simultaneously. Or you can set it up at, you know, tiered hours and that kind of thing. So that's common. But anyway, for an ebook, we can add that. If I wanted to, I can go through, here's another one, add to reading list. Anything that's in this discovery tool display list, videos, whatever it is, we can add to our reading list. So imagine if instead of buying that digital asset manager, we had our own server, right? We added our own videos. We can then create our own repository, which is really easy to do, by the way. It's harvested automatically. We can then add that kind of content to this and then add it to our reading list. So videos, whatever you wanted would be added. As of right now, the videos are not embedded. They're just links. So you get the idea. So I've got all this. So now I can go up and I want to see my current reading list. So I click on that. So now I can go in and I can see how many students have actually accessed the list, right? Can we use the system to house graphics? Yeah, you would be able to. Yeah, pretty much anything. We can talk about that for sure, guys, if you want. It's not really a web server, though. We would have to have the content stored somewhere, even if it was YouTube, for example. We could harvest all that stuff very easily and then find it and use it through Curriculum Builder very simply. So just so you know, you can go in here and we can tell if students have actually accessed the file. We can create folders within this reading list. You can add text or instructions. I think this is where we made enhancement request. Am I right, Kim?
Yes, we're going to put whatever the title is. So you might use the word instructions because this field is not editable. After you add your title, then you have the opportunity to add notes, and they display as a paragraph or whatever you're interested in and would be more fuller instructions for the student. and that's an editable field. So it eliminates frustration.
Right. So we've got some stuff in there, some enhancement requests that we're going to fix. But you can add all this stuff here. You can add a web resource here if you want, right? So you can go above and beyond the discovery tool. But like I said before, all that open access stuff or the DAM, we can do all this stuff. That could be in our huge database, and we just add it. So now we can go in here and go, okay, let's see. I want the ebook to be up front, so I'm just going to drag it up here and move it. I can add notes down here. I can say, hey, read chapter 5, right? Save notes. So as I go through, I can reorder all this stuff, right? So let's look at it real quick from a student. So as a student comes in, and they go to their module, and then they see their reading list. This is what a student sees. So, okay, here's the book. It says read chapter 5. They can go through all this stuff. So now what's nice, what I love about this, is the student just clicks on full text. And by the way, we can name this whatever we want. So I can click on this. It opens up. It goes right to the ebook. So here's the ebook. If I needed to go to chapter 5, the student would have to hopefully know how to scroll down and click on chapter 5. I'm assuming a lot, obviously, but so here it is, chapter 5. There's our ebook. Okay, so let's go back. Let's look at an academic journal. So our ebook worked. Click on full text for academic journal. What's nice is it brings us right to it. I don't need to sign in again. I don't need to do anything, right? So here's my article. Students don't really care about all the facets and all that stuff that our discovery service offers, right? And again, you already get the idea, you can do that. But again, if this was a video, all this would be here for a video. It would just show video, and it would say, I forget what it says, but I think it just says online access or something. Again, we can change that. You click on it, it then opens a new tab, and there's your video.
So Chad?
Yeah.
So the instructor has to set up the reading list, correct?
Right now, but I put an enhancement request in to let students do this too.
That's what I was asking, because I mean, so if the students have to do research, they still have to. This isn't where they go to do the research. They still go to the other system, right? For now.
For now, yeah. But yeah, I mean, this would be I'm totally with you on this, Alan, because I think imagine when students have to do that bibliography that they have to do, annotated bibliography. Right. This would be the way to do it. They could just go right in and do it and find it and add it.
The other thing with this, Alan, is you have the opportunity to make this more than a reading list. So I could put these articles, and one could be refuting the other. And I could say, go out and find an additional article that supports the viewpoint that you take. So you would then have it right there for them to go out and find additional research material and put it inside of a discussion board, and you've got a fairly substantial discussion going on academic content. So these links, you couldn't put these into a discussion board. You have to do kind of a quick link to it, I guess.
Yeah, you'd have to link to it. So yeah, as you went in,
link to the reading list.
Right, link to the reading list. I got it. Okay.
Yeah, right now. Eventually, when we get that insert stuff option, it'll be really slick.
Yeah, that would be very cool, because then that would be anywhere.
Yeah. I can't wait to show you guys the system that we're supposed to be getting statewide. I know it's like a year away, but everything's integrated very well. It's so amazingly slick. I haven't been this excited about a software in a very long time. So.
One of the things that this company is working on, they asked their user group and they said, what's your dream item? And they said, we want an Amazon for information. So this company has already gotten EBSCO and KB, and they're working with other vendors. All of the vendors line up on the left-hand side, load all of their content onto massive servers, which they're calling a knowledge base. And then the end user searches for something that they want, and it displays all of the databases and places where they can obtain that information. And then it indicates whether by your permissions you have free access to that, or lead you to where you can either pay for it or maybe connect it to interlibrary loan.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they say they're just a couple months out
Oh
on
yeah.
introducing that.
Yeah. And they have a whole. Another thing I'll say, and I don't work for the company. I sound like I do, but they also have a system that's the library like processing part behind the scenes, which allows us to do all this collaboration, and we can open it up to other division or other departments. It doesn't have to be just library. So, for example, I could be at Barnes and Noble. I can use their app. I can find a book that I want or that I like. I'm like, I don't want to buy it. I can scan it like you would in an Amazon app. It'll query our library collection. It'll say you don't have it. And then I can say, well, you know what? I want to add it to my purchasing list. We can give you all credentials to do that. It'll add it to our purchasing list. Next thing you know, we buy it and it's done. Um, and it works really, really well. Plus they have all the collaboration stuff behind the scenes, and I think they're going to hopefully start adding like screen sharing and remote desktop control and all that stuff behind the scenes. So it's extremely powerful, in other words. But so anyway, this curriculum builder is part of the statewide package, but we chose to jump on it earlier because, as you all know, it gets super annoying when links don't work. Um, and people are, even faculty are spending more time troubleshooting all this stuff and not actually reading or viewing the video or whatever it is. It's so frustrating. I think this is a step in the right direction.
The other thing that instructors will appreciate is you saw where you could see if the students had accessed this. Then if you're looking at the individual item, it will also tell you how many of your students have actually opened an article or opened the book. So you see under the book citation for music theory, it says one student has clicked and read through this. And if you open that, it tells you what student has actually clicked into it.
Yep.
So
and I think, what is it called? The Experience API, the Tin Can, I think it's called, where they can actually kind of tell if the student's actually even reading it. Are you guys familiar with that at all? But I vaguely remember something like that. But anyway, so another couple things I want to mention about this is as you go through this, there is a list ID down here that I just want to show you guys, because every once in a while you'll have a faculty member or a student or somebody that'll say, my reading list doesn't work. And you're like, all right, well, which one? You know, and they're like, well, the one that's in my course. Well, I'm going to start telling them, okay, if you tell me what this list ID is, I can go in and make repairs and do all that kind of stuff behind the scenes too, which is great. Couple things, just so you know what enhancement requests we've added, or what we've requested, is to have a citation option here. So, I mean, like now, I mean, in 2017 we'll have it, but I don't want to wait that long. So we're gonna have some kind of a citation option here. So the student reads it, they want to cite it using RefWorks or whatever it is, then they've got it. So that'll be nice. I'm trying to remember some of the other enhancement requests that we've asked. They are working on a copyright clearance kind of a deal, which I don't think we have to worry too much about, because we're authenticating through my courses. The LTI is doing that handshake with EBSCO, and so we're authenticating. We're getting all of our statistics, and all of our copyright should be handled, but they are working on some kind of a copyright clearance.
one of the nice things that they do is, should any of these fall out of our licensing agreements, it automatically flags it, and you don't have to go and do the upkeep. So if something isn't going to work, it's going to be flagged for you.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Oh, that's going to be nice too. Let me make sure that I've got usage statistics. Just so you know, I don't have the link to that right now, and I tried to load everything before. It's really not that sophisticated right now, but that's another thing that they're working on, so we can kind of get more granular with the statistics. Right now, it's just like, Chad, open this folder. So it doesn't really tell us too much. But you know what? I don't know if it really matters, because Desire to Learn has some decent stats, doesn't it? I would think. So I'm not going to go too much into that, because right now it's pretty general. It's pretty basic. But they are working on getting a little bit more granular with that. Let's see. I already told you about the list ID. Oh, here it is. Um, so yeah, the LTI plugin, like Films on Demand, that's coming. We already talked about the title is going to be changed to heading, and that will be editable. Right now, it's not. I think all of our library resources are almost there. We're close. I've been working really close with EBSCO, and I think we're like a week or so away from having everything there. The only thing that stinks, it's not that big a deal really, but we're going to have two systems. We're going to have that Primo one that we're using now, and then the EDS one, which is Powering Curriculum or Library on Demand. I'm going to have to upload our holdings file every week just so it stays up to date, which again is not a big deal. I'm going to try to automate that anyway. And then copyright management, adding the citation link, and anything that you guys, when you start playing with it, let us know what works, what doesn't work, what you'd like to see added. Because like I said earlier, they're very receptive and open to this stuff because it's fairly new. Not a lot of people are using it. SPC is definitely an early adopter, and we can make this pretty much what we want it to be. So I really think we can look down the road at the whole digital asset management thing too. And if we continue to use that server or whatever it is that we purchased, that's great. We can harvest that, and we can search for it all within Library on Demand. You don't need to do this anymore because it's done. It's everywhere now on all the courses. We just haven't done too much with it promotion-wise, which that will be happening soon too. One last thing. If you go back to course content, if you go into the sneak preview, which you all have access to, there is a link up here, learn what powers Library on Demand. Curriculum Builder. There's a good page here for librarians, and there's also one for instructors. And actually, if you go to that link, there's also one for LMS administrators. I should have put that in there for you guys. That shows you kind of how it's configured. I don't think they have anything set up officially. I'm going to post that link for you guys in the chat box.
I think we're the first D2L group that they have worked with, so they were really anxious to be able to do that.
Yeah, and Stephen Barlow gave them a generic login so their developers can kind of play around with the LTI plugin and with their current system. So if you're interested in this is some good stuff in here for instructors, administrators, and librarians. So I talked really fast. Anyway, do you guys have any questions or comments or concerns?
Hi, this is Darcy. I guess I just have a question as we build new online courses that will be used for several years. And to use an example, I requested a video recently, and one of your librarians gave me like the direct link to Canopy, that Canopy video streaming video server.
Yeah.
So are your librarians like, why didn't she give it to me? Why didn't she tell me to use the Library on Demand, or is it just not ready yet?
Well, it's ready, but Canopy, that's just like a host, right?
Canopy is a platform, and Darcy, I've been checking on that. We received the license for that, but it has not gone into our discovery tool yet.
I see.
And so I have emailed Rebecca Frank to find out if they purchase that license and it's limited to use for the 40 students that are in that particular class, then that item will not appear in the discovery tool.
I gotcha.
If it's open, I'm going to prompt her to put it in the discovery tool, and then it will eventually be one of the things that you could have put in through Curriculum Builder. I went out and tried to test that last night, and it's not in the discovery tool yet.
I gotcha. And so that's a brand new tool. But for something like Films on Demand, should I be building things using Curriculum Builder, or should I be building things using that insert stuff Films on Demand?
That depends. If you want the video, as of right now, if you want the video embedded, then you can, and one video embedded, then I would use the insert stuff Films on Demand plugin.
Okay.
If it doesn't matter, if they're cool with having the metadata and the title and all that stuff,
Hmm.
and the link to the video, then use Curriculum Builder.
Okay.
I mean, you can go into Curriculum Builder and use those facets to limit to just video.
But you also have the option of putting in a URL. So you could grab a URL and throw it in at the top of your reading list, and then you can organize it any way you want.
Okay.
So you can still get that content in there. And you should still be able to get the canopy piece in here by putting not the embed code, but the URL for it in here.
Before
Would
I
that-
forget, Darcy, I remember now. Jennifer was the librarian. She mentioned something to me about this canopy thing. There's a couple things because I think you mentioned that the student has to log in again, right?
Right. So I'm
Okay.
wondering if like this curriculum builder would circumvent that second login.
That definitely would. Another thing I want to mention though, with Films on Demand a couple years ago, I actually had to call Films on Demand, and I had to, and this is something I can help you with if you want. I had to call them and add at the time our Angel root URL.
Hmm.
And so what that does is when you log into my courses and then you click on that Canopy link or FMG, their servers, their authentication servers go, oh, this is coming from mycourses.spcollege.edu. Let's trust it. Then you don't have to log in again. So Canopy probably doesn't have our root URL yet,
I gotcha.
which would
Okay.
explain why they don't do it. But Curriculum Builder should fix that.
Okay. Yeah.
One other thing, as I forgot to mention up here at the top, you can import from an existing list. So if you created a reading list earlier and you know that list ID, like right now it's not perfect, but you can import from an existing list. If you use EBSCO, like if you're in the EBSCO and you create your own personalized folder in EBSCO, you can add tons of stuff in EBSCO and then just kind of, you have to log in and then it'll generate a list from your folder that's in EBSCO. Again, you can see that's in beta. And also right now this list is private, so only I can see it in my course. If you make it public, then I haven't tested this in theory. We should test this. If we make it public, other people can have access to it throughout SPC. So that's something I don't have you tested it yet, Kim?
No, I haven't. But that would mean that one instructor could use another instructor's list without having to go in and
Right.
Recreate the whole thing.
Exactly.
Where would they find the list?
As they go in to, let's see if I make it public. Let's just test it real quick.
Remember the first search thing that
Okay,
came up that
that's
said,
when
do you
you
want
got
to
that.
use an existing list?
Yeah, that list of
You would have to get the ID number.
Let me try it real quick. Let me try it. I have not really done this part yet. Let's see if it works. So here's Library on Demand. So here's where it's start fresh. Okay, so let's see. That's why it's really ugly, isn't it? I'm going to hopefully get this stuff fixed. But as of right now, this is really ugly. Everything's in my sandbox. So normally, if this was like ENC 1101, it would at least say ENC 1101 here.
well, there's the library on demand.
Let's try that one.
Well, those are all his test boxes.
So I want to copy this. Let's oh, here we go. Copy it or preview. Let's preview it and see what it does. So there's some of our test stuff. So let's just copy it. And let's see current reading list. All right, so yeah, it worked. Like I said, I haven't played with it too much, and I'm hoping they do clean up the title and stuff so it's not so clunky looking, but that's something we can work on.
Part of what we need to know is, you always put something out there, but you don't know how the end user is going to use it and what's going to be most useful for them, so that we prioritize that during this beta piece. So if people are going to use it and create reading lists of multiple things, that tells us one thing. But if they're going to go into the different modules of their course and they're going to put one here to put a film and one here to put something else, then there might be another feature that's better for them. So the better we get it out there to faculty and to you all, the more that we will be able to refine the tool and prioritize among the many things that we would like to have tweaked what we want EBSCO to work on first.
Yep. So let's see. Darcy writes, I think a really helpful training resource to help you get buy-in would be very simple, clear. Yeah, definitely with two columns, what is being indexed and what is not being indexed. Yeah. Um, yeah, I mean, and that's all part of the discovery tool too, what we're including in everything. Um, yeah. And
To
actually,
clarify that a little bit, EBSCO's curriculum builder was initially just for EBSCO content. And Chad has the vision that it would contain all of our content, and he has the skill to help EBSCO make that happen. And he can talk the talk with EBSCO. And so they were willing to work with us to bring in all of our other databases unless there's a copyright issue with it. So we're in the process of going through and identifying all of those things. And it's been educational for us too, in that we look at the level 1 analysis and we see all these variant languages in there. That's not a feature that we use of many things, but all of those databases for German and Russian and whatever are in there because it comes with the database. So it's really extensive. So all that is to say that we're able to get all of the rest of the content that's not EBSCO branded in here because of Chad's work here. So we're really hopeful to be able to, sorry Chad, exploit your skills and get more favor in the outside encore on front of it.
No, thanks. I mean, it's funny. I remember when they first let us try it out, and I'm like, oh, so what's in here? And they're like, well, it's just our EBSCO stuff. I'm like, no, not good enough. We want everything. Everything needs to be in there. And so it's there. It's coming along pretty quick. So, but please use it. And you know, if there's anything that you think is super clunky and you think, wow, this would be better if it was done this way, pass it on. Because they, like I said, they are very receptive, and we can make this an amazing tool. SPC is going to be the first one to run it again. And a year down the road, when everyone starts to do this, FALSI is going to owe us, you know, and so will EBSCO. And I think the last time I talked with EBSCO, I think they're probably going to give us this for free, as kind of just a thank you for letting them develop and all that with Desire to Learn. So.
One of the things that this really helps with when you're talking with instructors is the large initiative at the college for textbook affordability.
Yeah.
Particularly in the College of Business, they want to draw heavily from Harvard business content, and this enables them to bring that right in. We do have the writer on that database, so despite the fact that it threatens your life if you use their article in your class, we've paid for the writer on that. So we can use those items and bring those in.
Definitely. I'm going to give you guys one more link in your chat box, just so if you get a minute, you can check it out. This triplei.com. That's what we're moving to. We're migrating to their library platform and their discovery tool called Encore. But the key word of the day was API, and they are making it work. And they're a software company, which is explains why it's working so well. I'm very excited to be working with these guys. So, well, thanks for listening, everybody. I appreciate it.
Yes, thank you.
Keep in touch. You guys have anything else?